general, the encounter's rules are modified to be far more punitive and difficult. In return, though, you can earn some very impressive rewards. Here's what you can expect from today's livestream. We'll start with a trailer for the Sentinel expansion, and then we'll go through its content and features in detail, starting with how the new Sentinel Challenge League lets you control your level of risk and reward.
In the wake of your power, something has arisen. Dark sentinels, hungry for a share. But these cruel constructs can be harnessed. Take them, bind them to your will. Test and tinker, combine and reconfigure. And together, you will find your fortune. Some sentinels are powerful. Others are dangerous. But in a world with shifting stars, monstrous new threats, and valuable treasures, you will need them. The Sentinels await your command.
这东西会加强终局王。怎么来着 ？OK。
You play. You'll quickly develop various strategies for when each class of Sentinel is best used. For example, saving your Pandemonium Sentinel for when you're surrounded by monsters, or using your Apex Sentinel really get better and better as you play through the league. You can also upgrade the behavior and properties of Sentinels through your Sentinel controller. The Sentinel controller is like a runic circuit board. Just to reiterate, you can change your allocation as much as you like, so feel free to experiment. This powerful runic node allows Pandemonium Sentinels to be used an additional time each area. If you insert 2 Sentinels and click the Assemble button, a new, fully charged one will be created.
2个可以换一个新的 ，OK。持续讲的话，你可能会真的会打不赢。
augments its wide area of effect blast with a petrification
这个打王赛季。
Any monsters caught in the blast are turned to stone. Rather than being primarily useful for raising the risk and reward of combat like other Sentinels, this one is incredibly useful as an emergency button in combat. By activating the Basilisk, you can freeze most of the monsters around you in place, letting you take control of dangerous situations.
猎手，
This
假
unique
猎手。
Sentinel, the hollow-eyed skull, is basically a headhunter in Sentinel form.
他这个放错了，他刚前面那个是在讲这个，前面在讲蛇怪，然后后面在讲那个猎手，他两个图片放错了。
If you activate one of these Sentinels while fighting that boss, it empowers the boss into an extremely dangerous version. They're held by reward bonuses on that map, so if you're able to defeat one of these bosses in a juiced map, you will certainly be greatly rewarded.
哇哦，好多奖励哦！5个增幅石，4个连接石，好多奖励。
Recombinators allow you to apply the Sentinel assembly process to 2
好
pieces
多
of
奖励
equipment
哦
of the same item class, combining them together in unpredictable ways. This process can also rarely imbue your item with exclusive modifiers that don't normally spawn on that type of item. While the recombination process involves significant risks, you could combine the best parts of 2 rare items together, maybe getting a lucky exclusive mod spawn, and end up with one of the best weapons, armor pieces, or jewelry in Path of Exile.
这个就蛮屌了，
Sentinels
这
can
个
be
就蛮
deployed
屌了，
while
这个
engaging
已
in
经
other
蛮靠
league
赛。
content, so you can juice the risk and reward to quite crazy levels. For example, you could enter a Mirror of Delirium, trigger a breach, and deploy your Sentinel at the same time, causing the monsters to have 3 significant modifiers to both their difficulty and rewards.
好，谢谢你，
There
我
are
知
only
道，
a
我
few specific
知道，
areas
不
that
然呢？
Sentinels can't be
谢谢
deployed
你
in,
，POE 不
mostly
就这样
for
玩的
technical
吗？
reasons, and those are unique maps, pinnacle Atlas bosses, and the Simulacrum.
谢谢你告诉我这件事情，POE 不就这样，不就是在
So
这样
that's
玩吗？
Sentinel in a nutshell to the Atlas tree. As you know from the regular passive skill tree, Keystone passives are usually dramatic and build changing, with both
关键天
upsides
赋
and potential downsides. Each Keystone can completely
输
change
出
the way
关
you
键
play
天
Path of
赋。
Exile's endgame, and we have designed Keystone passives for many different playstyles and situations. The second big change is that we have introduced these clusters of passives that grant you even more control over what endgame content you encounter. As you know, you can encounter many different types of past league content randomly within maps. These new passives allow you to prevent content you don't enjoy from appearing randomly, while simultaneously causing other content to spawn at a higher rate. Aside from the obvious convenience of only encountering the past league mechanics that you choose, the system is great for target finding specific content that you have juiced on your Atlas tree. Thirdly, we have created incredibly difficult and rewarding Uber versions of 7 pinnacle boss fights, which can be accessed via 6 new keystone passives. These fights are designed to challenge the absolute best Path of Exile players, and suffice to say, they are brutally difficult. Let's take a look at some of the new keystones and boss fights. The singular focus keystone makes it significantly more likely that your favored maps will drop. If a map drops that is not one of your favorite maps, it will be converted into a random currency item. This means that you'll exclusively see your favorite maps, and outside of that, more currency. This is the realization of the "I only want to play one map" dream that some players have. It also helps players who are over-sustaining maps and would rather just get extra currency items. The Stream of Consciousness keystone prevents you from modifying your maps with fragments or scarabs, but means that when extra content is being rolled for your maps, each of the base chances is 50% higher. This is really useful for players who don't want to have to think about juicing their maps and would instead prefer to get a constant moderate bonus instead. The following 2 keystones are for very advanced players who have completed their Atlas trees and want to get a very specific outcome with all of their skill points. The Wandering Path keystone increases the effect of small passives on your Atlas skill tree and disables all notable passives. The Grand Design keystone increases the monster pack size in each of your maps by an amount proportional to the number of notable passives you have allocated. However, the trade-off is that small passives have no effect.
这个会很强，因为小型只会给地图。小型都是地图跟稀有度，这个很强，这个比这个后面
maximizing pack size and quantity at the expense of specific league content, which is great for general Magic Find builds or divination card farmers. The Twist of Fate keystone changes the behavior of corrupted rare maps in unpredictable ways. Upon entering a map, you may be sent to an alternative map of the same tier with randomized modifiers. All of the master missions, scarabs, and Kirit crafts applied to the map will also be randomized. This process will not pick an outcome that was already on the map, so it always shifts it to a new property that you didn't have before. This means that you can play all of the scarabs, master missions, and maps that you enjoy, and any leftover ones can be randomized to new outcomes, which are guaranteed to not be the ones you started with. This may have some interesting economic consequences as well, with players feeding bad scarabs or maps into the Twist of Fate lottery. The Wellspring of Creation and Dance of Destruction keystones change the ratios of monster life and damage in maps on the Atlas, so that they are more dangerous and less tanky, or vice versa. These 2 keystones are designed to be remedial, allowing players with an abundance of offense or defense to normalize themselves so they can handle the content better. If you find yourself in a situation like Denarius, Cyrus, the Maven, the Searing Exarch, the Eater of Worlds, and the Shaper and Uber Elder, who I guess is now called the Uber Elder?
Uber Elder.
Allocating one of these keystones on your Atlas passive tree ramps up the corresponding boss fights so that it is extremely difficult. In general, the encounter's rules are modified to be far more punitive and difficult. In return, though, you can earn some very impressive rewards. Each of the Uber fights has an additional high chance reward and a chance of getting a very, very rare chase reward. For example, the Uber Maven guarantees an elevated sextant if you're able to complete the encounter. Very rarely, though, you may be able to earn an awakened exceptional support gem as well, such as Empower, Enlighten, or Enhance. These keystones unlock crazy battles that will challenge our most aspiring players who are deep in Path of Exile's endgame. They add a new level of difficulty for those who want to push their builds even farther than they ever have before. Atlas. Elder and Shaper Scarabs are basically worthless because their influence is worse than the free influence you can get from the Eater of Worlds and the Searing Exarch. In Sentinel, you can now apply multiple types of influence to one map, so you could have Eater of Worlds influence alongside a Shaper or Elder Scarab on a Conqueror map. Together, these 3 influences combined have a very large effect on that map, and this will make Elder and Shaper Scarab significantly more desirable. The start point of encountering Shaper, Elder, or Conqueror influence and influence items has been raised to level 81 areas. We've also fixed an issue that was causing some players to skip playing most of the contents of maps. On the lower half of the Atlas passive tree, there were a lot of small skills that granted a 2% chance for the map boss to drop an additional map. This meant that it was possible to sustain maps by rushing to those bosses and ignoring every other monster in the map. We have retained the overall bonus, but have changed it so the map drops from a random monster within the map rather than the boss.
师徒流没了，师徒流被改掉了，你必须要清完整张图了。3.19。
Call of the Void is a new cold-themed ring that was designed by Lighty and will drop from the Uber Elder. It causes all damage to chill and causes chilled enemies to shatter on death,
这个很
as though
强
they were，
这个
frozen.
超级强，这
On
个
top
任
of
何
this,
流派都
chilled
可以
enemies
用
deal less
这个
damage
超
back to
级
you
强的，
based on the
这个
magnitude of
其
the
实很
chill
强。
affecting them. The only drawback is that all incoming damage also chills
这
you,
个超
but there
强
are
的
many ways to mitigate this, and in some cases it's beneficial to builds that utilize self-chill as part of some crazy combo. This ring is useful for a wide variety of different endgame builds.
这个
Echoes of
这个超
Creation
强
is
的
a new unique helmet, also designed by Lighty, which will drop from the Shaper. It's designed for builds that use war cries and grants an
灯柱是什
extra
么啊？
use
捷径
before
攻击吗？
cooldown to war cry skills that are socketed in the helmet. It also grants more damage to exerted attacks based on the number of war cries affecting them, but causes you to take damage when you use these attacks. The self-damage number looks really scary, but it can be mitigated by various mechanics such as armor, endurance charges, and life recovery. This powerful niche helmet is ideal for
这
characters
个
that
就
try
是
to use
爆
as
爆
many
图的
war
东西，
cries
这
as
是
they
爆图的
can.
东西。这个就只有爆图的东西。
The third Lighty unique being introduced is the Burden of Truth, a unique belt which will drop from Cyrus. Broadly speaking, this belt encourages you to have healthy energy shield and life pools, and helps you to achieve this by granting you additional energy shield based on a percentage of your maximum life value. The belt both lets some portion of chaos damage hit your energy shield, but also causes some non-chaos damage to bypass your energy shield like it was chaos damage. This is often an upside because splitting damage over both life and energy shield lets you recover both simultaneously. The Supreme Decadence keystone that this belt grants, which is previously restricted to timeless jewels, causes your life flasks to apply to both your life and energy shield at a reduced rate. Overall, this belt is extremely powerful for characters who can build to have a decent energy shield pool while also using life flasks appropriately. The fourth new item that we're featuring today was created by Waggle. It's an amulet called the Eternal Struggle, which will drop from either the Infinite Hunger or the Black Star. The amulet has a pair of Eldritch mods, and the one that is dominant will be based on which of the bosses dropped it. The dominant mod also controls whether the amulet gives a Malignant Madness or Culling Strike bonus. You'll need to work out which of the two bosses to farm based on which half of the amulet you want to activate. The final unique we're showcasing today was designed by Steel Mage. It's a unique jewel that drops from the Maven. The jewel refers to a random keystone on your passive skill tree and enables you to be able to allocate passives within a radius around that keystone without them being connected to the rest of the tree. While the keystone itself cannot be allocated, this jewel allows you to jump across great distances in a passive tree in a very skill point efficient way. In addition to these uniques that have come from the boss kill competition, we have added new unique items to the Uber Pinnacle boss fights that can be accessed through some of the new keystone passives. These include a different variation of Thread of Hope that can drop from Uber Cyrus, a new unique jewel which can drop from the Uber Shaper, and special Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh jewels which can roll exclusive ascendancy notable passives that are not available anywhere else in the game. One of the subtle but important aspects of our plan is to keep adding powerful new chase rewards to Path of Exile's endgame, so that there are always new reasons to complete aspirational content. The boss kill competitions are great because they not only create these rewards, but also immortalize the achievements of some of Path of Exile's best players. We're going to run another boss kill competition at the launch of Sentinel. This time, players will have to defeat the Uber versions of boss fights that are unlocked by the special keystone passives. We'll post full information and there'll be no changes to character power. That means no nerfs, no buffs, nothing. Every single build and build guide made for Siege of the Atlas will work exactly the same in Sentinel. You can start planning your League starter right now, with full confidence about exactly how it's going to play. Talk about the changes to monster modifiers.
不改玩家改怪物吗？
Magic and rare monsters in Path of Exile get a lot of
不
their
改玩家
power from
改
their
怪物
modifiers.
吗？你们也发现哦，你们也发现怪物这个很无聊了，实在很无聊了。
These mods are unfortunately showing their age.
有些
Many
过
of
时
them， are
有
unimpactful and
些
it's quite hard to quickly read their descriptions in the heat of combat. What we need is a new set of mods that are highly impactful in combat, keyworded with 1 to 2 colored words that are easy to read at a glance, and capable of producing dangerous combinations. This is exactly what we designed the Arch Nemesis mods to be, a replacement for the core monster mod pool. From 3.18 onwards, all previous monster mods have been replaced by Arch
宿
Nemesis
敌值
mods.
全部变成精
No
怪的
other part of the Arch Nemesis League has been retained, so there's no more inventory or recipe management. Magic monsters have 1 Arch Nemesis mod, shared across their pack, and rare monsters typically have 2 mods. However, it's possible to encounter rare monsters with 3 or even 4 arch-nemesis mods on them. Combinations of multiple synergistic mods can create quite interesting situations in combat. For example, if you encounter a monster with both Storm Strider and Ice Prison, the Ice Prison may block you off so that you are more likely to run into the lightning mirages from the Storm Strider mod. We've done a balance pass over the arch-nemesis mods before making them core. Some have certainly had their power reduced, particularly when applied to magic monsters. We have also changed how monster experience and drops are calculated, so it's not far more about the difficulty of the mods than about the proportional size of the monster. Various Nemesis and Bloodlines modifiers that were not represented in the Arch-Nemesis mod pool have been added in different ways. Purchasing this pass grants you access to Kerrick's Vault, where you can claim exclusive unique item skins as you complete map bonus objectives in the Atlas.
我们人都没有削弱哦，可是怪物变超强哦，这样就不算削弱哦。
A few more days and will leave the store forever when this league ends. Buy your pass now.
好啦好啦，感謝啦感謝啦，
Thank you
不會
to
買。
everyone who unlocked Kerrick's Vault.
不會買
We
啊
had a lot of fun
我才不會
putting
買
it together and tried to think of fun ways that unique item skins can
我才
interact
不會
with
買。
gameplay in a visual way. The purchases directly fund development of both Path of Exile 1 and 2. A brand new Vault Pass will launch alongside the Sentinel League. Like the previous one, there are 8 exclusive unique item skins that can be unlocked as you complete map bonus objectives. We'll post full details on these new
狂怒
rewards
球，
closer
刚
to
那是
launch.
狂怒球吗？
To buy either the Arch-Nemesis Pass now, before it leaves the store
狂
forever,
怒球的
or
通
the
行证吗？
Sentinel
然后有
One
个
Mini
蜘蛛
expansion
刀，对不对？
launches, go to pathofexile.com/vault.
然后有一个蜘蛛刀，对不对？
Alongside today's live stream, we're
你有没有看
launching
到吗？
2 new series of supporter packs, the Arcanist and Reaper packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, plus several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available during the Sentinel League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. Every microtransaction you're about to see is entirely cosmetic and does not affect your character's progression or power. The Arcanist pack series contains 7 exclusive microtransactions. The Cloak of Elements indicates the power of your fire, cold, and lightning resistances on your back. When a resistance is capped, the effect is extra strong. While wearing the Ring of the Black Star, your level up effect looks like this.
不用欸，不用欸，嘿，不用欸。
In the Timekeeper's hideout, you can use the Chrono
不
Sphere
用
to
欸，
change
不
the
用欸。
time of day
何
from
必
dawn
呢？
to noon to dusk to night.
有必要吗？不用欸。
With Chevron's tome on your belt, identifying items will cause exploding books to appear nearby.
意义在
The
哪？
Mage Blue map device blossoms with greater intensity as you open higher tier maps. With the soul-stunning weapon effect attached to your weapon, any attacks that stun will cause your enemies to have an out-of-body
灵魂出
experience.
窍。
Drinking from the searing Quicksilver flask causes an explosion and sets your character on fire.
喝下那个红玉药剂的话，
The Reaper Pack series also has 7 exclusive cosmetic microtransactions. The Soul Harvester's Cloak's power is based on the number of enemies your character has killed.
我得老实讲，这个蛮帅
With
的。
the
这个
belt
这
of
个
the
真的
Hype
是我
Queen
很喜欢
equipped,
风格。
flasks you use will cause blood-sucking insects to appear all over your character.
好可爱哦，这个超可爱
The
的。
Ghostlit Graveyard is a hideout where you can control the color of its torches. It also comes with 6 exclusive hideout decorations. Medidrone will follow you around and use a healing beam on you whenever you're gaining life. Thanks, Medidrone.
哎，我们现在是生命
The
线
Underworld
了，
portal opens a gateway to
生命
hell.
线。
Its effect upgrades in Part 2 and again in maps, where it indicates what tier of map you're playing.
哦，这可以，这可以。
While wearing the Ring of the Exorcist, any spells you cast will exorcise the ghosts of your enemies if you crit.
这好丑哦，这个好
While
像
using
10
the
年前
Grim
的造
Reaper
型。
apparition, the Reaper will appear and cull any unique or rare enemies you slay.
他怎么穿的男爵
As I
头
mentioned？
他为
before,
什么
these
穿男爵
packs
头
are
啊？
exclusive to the
这
Sentinel
家伙
League
穿
and
男
will
爵
leave the
头
store
哎
in，
他
3
在乱玩
months.
什么啊？
They're available right now at pathofexile.com/purchase, and they
干
directly
这到底
fund
是
the
三小
ongoing
这到底
development
是
of Path
三
of
小
Exile 2 and
我
Path
不
of
必要
Exile
不
1
必要哎
expansions like Sentinel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thanks for joining us and checking out today's reveals. We can't wait to see you in Rayclast on May 13th. We'll begin the Q&A in a few moments, so please get your questions
没
ready
必
in
要，
chat.
就是没必要。没有新技能，没有新技能，就这，各位，